So I bumped the power button there. I'm documenting Metamorphosis, Part 2, Easter Sunday 2024. Just saying, I'm sitting on this toolbox from a trailer that is full of my friend's stuff that... anyway, you see how... But like I do that with responsibility, you see. That's what that point is, to say like this is another thing, and it's all heavy stuff. It's all heavy. I'm gonna move it. It's like that stuff is for me. That's mine. There's a trampoline and some old hardwood timber. But when do I get a chance to do anything with the stuff that I actually want to do? So I thought, yeah, I'll use a trampoline. I can use it here. Where am I going to put it? And now I actually want to take that and do some community stuff. But anyway, you see how this is rusted and damaged and broken, but it's not broken. But, you know, it's fucked. Needs fixing. Needs work. Same as fucking everything else here. Coffee's still there, so it's not nice. Same as everything else here, you know, there's this whole process. A whole process that needs to happen. So you go to do a 20-minute task or a 2-hour task. Doesn't matter, because you got to mess around for 20 minutes to 2 hours for every tiny little thing that you can do. Well, you don't, but I do. So I just stopped. A long time ago, I've been sitting with it. And then all this other people's stuff. I did have a garden going here. I had these potatoes going well, but I haven't even been up here for... You know, something happened a long time ago now. Like, it's a long time ago. About just finally, at the same time as understanding or accepting the feedback from the universe, as though my body's too sore. It was like the nerves felt like they were dead from my hips and my back down to my legs. So, I'm fine. The nerve feels like it's dead, and from my hips, so all the way down the leg on the right side and the back, the side and back nerves feel like it's dead, like the nerve is dead. And at that same time, it's sort of like, well, I look around and go, well, you obviously haven't been able to make it work here. All the things that you do have become this, I don't even know what the word is. So it's been a very long time since I've even had the energy to even think about this. I mean, I had to walk away from this for 8.5 months. It took me 8.5 months to come back. And then 3 times I opened the gate, walked in here, turned around, walked out straight away. And that was a long time ago. That was 2020. And I've cleaned this place up. And this is a real disaster that I'm sort of sitting with. But my body just couldn't do it. My back was in so much pain. So I was sitting there. And that's the truth, you know, like I twinged my back and I haven't been the same since. Like it's tight, adhered muscle. You know, like holding this tension in my body. So I'm trying to get all this out in this surreal moment, starting a new day, Easter Sunday. It's a new life. Rise from the dead. all of that, or whatever. What's relevant is that now is the time, so it's now. I actually didn't even know it was Easter, but I knew that there was the eclipse and it was the moon, and we're going into Aries, and there's something else, can't remember now. So that was big. Oh, yeah, whatever the other astrology was that I've been following the last few weeks. So it goes in, goes out, forget it, because it's always changing anyway. I was well prepared for the disharmony, conflict, style, heaviness, agitation, expression that could rise up spontaneously just with the astrology of knowing what's going on and knowing what's coming in, and then just with my own other processes, and everything was this oil over the troubled waters, where for a long time it hadn't been that way. You have a conversation, you think everything's great, you go back to have another conversation, and they don't interact with you, and they look at you, they see you from distance, they don't come and talk to you, and then you don't get a response for weeks and weeks, and it leaves you wondering. And there was a lot of stuff, everyone's all so nice and polite, but they aren't telling you, no, they're not interested in working with you, or they don't want to look at doing anything else or what they're doing here. They're just this polite, they're not actually saying anything. Well, I find I'm not really having that anymore. And it's got to be about me. So I was able to have this conflict in this harmonious way this last week. And the real thing I'm trying to get across with that, and why I talk so much about it, is because when you're sitting with someone that you've known for a very long time and you're close with, and you call them on their bullshit, when they realize that you've seen that bullshit for fucking years, and you've been this close as you are, sitting on the couch next to them, calling them bullshit, as though they realize that they've been accepted by you for the person that they are all this time. And so you're not actually saying to them, or I wasn't actually saying, you're a bad person or you need to fix this or anything like that. I'm just saying, let's just be clear about what you're doing here and what's going on. I'm not going about why necessarily, I'm not going into that, I'm just going, if you're going to take my time to interact with me in a certain way, then you're going to be clear about the mechanics of the creation that bring you to interact with me in this particular manner. So all the energy you put into it, and all the time that you take, and all the considerations and all that kind of stuff, understand what the mechanics of that creation are here and now at the start of it. Otherwise, no point having it, because I actually don't have the capacity to continue this. And it's not so much that I don't have the will. I don't have the will. I never had the will, but I've been doing it for so long. But I actually don't have the sustainable capacity, because you're full of shit and you don't give a fuck about all the shit that you think that you do and that I mess around for. So it's not workable. And when people get that, then they ring you up after they got real drunk and they start crying to you on the phone about how selfish they've been and they are as a person. And then how grateful they are for having been accepted for being that person all this time. And then the way I said it. So That is a Nobbs Suzuki Praxis. That's given me the ability to suddenly change and get that across, because it's not like I'm suddenly a nice person or suddenly a kind person. It's about how I'm able to interact with the cosmos and the people in it and people in life, and how I'm able to change. And so I've been looking back a lot, seeing it with that sort of heaviness, you see. So that's basically the degree of heaviness, let's say, for, you know, sort of this week of like, kind of like, well, not really, it's not that kind of energy, because something got said, and it's just there, and I don't have any time to waste on this. And another thing is, like, I ramble on with shit like this, and I talk in audios to people. Well, I'm doing that out of love, you know. I'm not doing it for any other reason other than for that person's comfort or consideration, acknowledgement, so that they feel acknowledged and valued and respected and considered and loved. And I haven't done this ranting thing, but these people think that I'm going on with all this stuff and I'm accusing them and I'm ranting and I'm angry and I'm ranting. And if you listen to those ones, that's not what I was doing. It's not what I sound like. So I don't understand it. And then it's just become very clear and relevant that people don't listen to the audios because they can't deal with their own stuff, you know. You see someone in your head, you go, "Oh, good, how are you?" And they're not listening to, like, they're all just doing the thing that they're doing. You're like, "Oh, good, how are you?" And then they're off. They don't even know, like, what they're thinking in their own mind, the noise in their head. So I just acknowledge that. And that's it. Meanwhile, I do notice that other people must have, God knows, whatever they've got going on in their mind, whatever ideas they've got going on, what they're thinking about, what their interpretation of my remark was. I had one friend saying all this random stuff to me. And I was just like, what? And I was like, what is this? You send me these random messages that don't make any sense. And even that could have been something to get upset about, but then wrote back saying that I said something, and then it's gone on this whole emotional thing, and all the conversations already gone on in the head, and then these few words get said, and it's like, what the hell? And in the past, that would have been this tedious thing to deal with, but even that was just this, it's transformed. It's not like that anymore. And that was in the light of the other intensity kind of with the eclipse and the other astrological correlations, and then the solar activity. It's been one hell of a week just with the sun. We've been updated and we're being upgraded. So I was a bit disturbed at myself. It's been years since I lost my cool. I went to pray at the mosque. Got invited to come down to the mosque to eat at sunset and just see what it's about, you know, it's a bit of culture. And so I got there nice and early, but I'm always late for prayer, but I was parked right there. I was like a few meters from it. And then just messing around, just trying to set up. I had one dog, I had to take it with me because she had pups, and other dogs trying to steal her pups, and it's a whole thing. So I had to set up in the cage and the boot open, but just getting it to fit and get it comfortable the way I wanted. I lost my cool with the dog that I love so much. So it was all about her. So she's thinking she's in trouble, or she doesn't know what's going on, but it's not a nice experience for her. And then she's got four-day-old pups that I'm so earnestly trying to facilitate something for them. And then, because all the clutter, all the shit, all the car is so full of shit. But it's all the shit that I put in there so I can go away and do all this stuff, you see. But what am I doing? Why am I living like this? I'm getting nowhere. I'm ready for an emergency. I'm ready for crisis. Cars packed so that if something happens, I can go and set up a camp and provide for all these people. But then when that shit happens, the roads are blocked. I can't even get there. So that's where I was sort of sitting at. And when conflict arises, it can really mess you up. Or can really mess me up because people tell me that I said and did something I didn't do, and they think I'm a certain kind of person. Their whole interaction. Well, I've come to realize that some people just think I'm like, well, I got no idea. Like, it's because if I thought that they were that kind of person, they think I am. There's no way in hell I'd want to have them in my life. So what you get is you got this acceptance thing, and you just got life going on. And this was going on. And then we have the energy that makes it so that you have this shit that's so important but completely disengaged and not focused on, not dealt with for months and months or years and years. But the interactions and the relationship dynamics are embroiled and intrinsic and connected to all of that. And there's all this good stuff that could actually be making your life a lot easier. Like it's all like locked in this stasis. So it's all going to go to the dump as soon as the resources come into my life to get a truck, load this up and take it to the dump. Then that's what's happening. Because I'm in trouble for this being here. And I'm $7,500 behind in rent. So it's probably reasonable to consider that maybe I would have been kicked out years ago if it wasn't going to be so expensive to kick me out, because I don't have the ability to go. So when you have this, like I do have that thing, I put everyone else before me all the time. Always have. And then when everyone else is happy and comfortable and all good, then I can have my place with that. And I can then sit down and savor, and I can rest well, I can enjoy. That's what it's about. It's very unfulfilling to have something and not share it with someone. And then the perceptions that you have, come here, Razzle, formed about you in the world, if you don't have some kind of thing about performance that takes that notion that we're all just actors on the stage of life to this whole other realm of where it should be 400 years later, then I think you're very much at risk of having a nervous breakdown or committing suicide. If you're an Australian white male, my age, 42 at the moment, there are a lot of men at risk just simply for that, because this is our role, this is what we do, this is how we are geared, it's how we're put together to provide and to make sure that everybody's comfortable. Where are you going, Razzle? What are you doing? And so if you've got a woman around you, whether she's your woman or she's your daughter or she's your friend or you don't know her, or she's that horrible woman across the street who always says something really nasty, and I'm like, God, are you resonating like that? Are you holding that? Like, did you think about that? Is this just hanging? Oh God, like that is a state of hell, and Oh my God. I really feel for you. Because I can see all these patterns in Chinese medicine, so I can feel compassion for anyone in any state of being that they are holding. But that didn't make me exempt from the conflict. And I think now I am pretty exempt from the conflict. Now the conflict, it's not conflict, the disharmony seems to be unfolding in this complete, comprehensive manner that shows in this last week, because this is like, a few things happened this last week that is like, it's really disturbing. It's like, bang, you sit thinking. And so I was sort of comfortable being up here and following the dogs here, but I sort of go sit over by myself and just think, what the hell was that? Why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why was I like that? Because I wasn't actually angry. I got to work it out. But the thing is that I said the right things, and I didn't say it in the wrong way or anything like that. So there's this harmony. And what you get back, like the lessons that were given to me, which I haven't even gone anywhere near yet, then they're given with this comprehensive, full congruence, like more than anything ever before. So, the burden of this kind of thing was a bit heavier. I mean, I guess having like 6 cups of coffee by 11 o'clock in the morning. Not drinking water. Don't know why. Like, when you wake up and you're dehydrated, you pick up the water, you carry it with you everywhere, but you just don't drink it. And you have 3 cups of coffee. Like, what am I doing? But I'm really clear about this stuff, so I have a good look at myself. And then if there's ever the slightest bit of disharmony with anyone, I'm very sensitive to it. I feel it before, like instantly, and turn it. And I don't really ever cause it. And if it's put on me that I caused it, then I'm too much in trying to resolve it. And people can't hear it anyway. Like they change what you said. Or they used to, you see. So something's happened. And it seems like something's just happened in the last couple of weeks with that. And, it's like 5 months now that I've been doing this, or 6 months that I've been doing this documenting Metamorphosis. And so the big thing is because it's something that's so important, it's about me. It's like the only thing that's about me. Jackie said to me today, like, if you don't prioritize yourself, then you actually don't have any priorities at all. So the training is the most important thing to you. So you don't let anyone get in the way of that. And that was coming from me saying 3 times I've allowed someone to get in the way of me going to training. That afternoon, that I end up not being going to training that evening. And then so she said, if you don't prioritize yourself, and this sounds like it's the only priority in your life, it's like the only thing you care about, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah, it is, And like it's the only thing that you actually do for yourself. And I thought about it, I go, yeah, it is. It's the only thing that I do for myself. All of this shit is just hope of something. But that Nobbs Suzuki Praxis training on Sunday night, 7 p.m. is what I do for myself. And just for the sake of that, that's it. It's not like this is going to lead to this is going to lead to this. There's all this other stuff that was already going on anyway. This is what it's a paradoxical quantum shift in existence and reality and creation. So then we get this bonus one put in with that context this week at this time. That's what Jackie said to me. Plus, I had a lot of divine grace. My mate up there, Ramen, gave me a few 100 kilos of meat for my dogs, so I don't need to buy meat for my dogs for like another 4 months. and Jackie and John were the key to facilitating freezer space, because I don't have power and water here. I can't freeze it. And that's why I started with this thing about, there's a solar panel, charge control, shitty old battery that's a few years old, came from underneath my mate's house and helped him move. So suddenly we can charge our phones and USBs and stuff. Because my friend came here the other day and she wanted to charge her phone. It was like 45 minutes of messing around while I wanted to be doing other stuff, like playing music. And for her, that's the thing I wanted to do, and for myself, but then she got to 83%. I can't go home now. Just what? So I understand that people aren't really prioritizing the same things as me anyway, and the things you do from them they don't really value, they don't really notice. Too blasé. And it's good, like I say that, because I can see the wonderful, just the wonder, look at the wonder of it, instead of being agitated. So there's all these things that are transformed so much and so comprehensively that there's no way that I would act the way that I act. No way would I lose my cool and start, fuck, and I was ripping all the stuff out of the car. Scary movement, fuck. And swearing quietly, fuck this, fuck. But like there's, the women and children all completely covered up. Like we're going to see this here, or like that. And they're parking their cars a few meters from me and they're getting out and they're all really dressed up. I'm making huge noise. And so I come into the prayer and and so I missed that first bit, you see. And that was something I was going to do for myself. And then I said some stuff after that was particularly highlighted as a contrast, because I just left the mosque. I had all this food, like they feed you. If you want to go down to the mosque while it's still Ramadan, get there just before sunset, and then they'll give you some food. And probably better just let them assume that you've been doing Ramadan. And then they'll give you some fruit and some dates and this porridge thing, right? And it's a bit of jovial thing. It's actually quite nice. And then you go downstairs. It was the nice peaceful thing. It was like, fuck that. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm just trying to sort this out. Fuck it. I can't deal with it anymore. The reason it's like that because I just can't fucking deal with it. Or whatever they're doing. So it's coming out of the background. Apparently they're instructed to recite the Quran or whatever they're saying in that holy kind of thing when they're very jovial. I'm jovial, oh men and brothers, we love each other in the name of Allah, so be it. And the smiling too. I'll tell you what, it was an interesting experience. First time I went to the mosque and do this whole thing, it's all very quiet, and this bloke says, whoa, okay, that was cool, because he was instructed to. So anyway, that's what you get, and it's a very warm, uplifting, bright feeling, like I don't know what the hell they're doing and all that Arabic stuff, so I managed to get about 1,500 of my mantra prayers that I made up on the spot. May all beings feel peace, balance, light, and love. May God be with all beings. And may it transform all their, whatever it was, and reach their highest potential, whatever it was, all their challenges and their hindrances, that's what it was. May they may all beings transform all their hindrances and move on to their highest potential. Right now, in this moment, all moments eternally. So be it. I'm only pumping out. Managed to get about 1,500 of them out. It's probably like a 20 second, 25, 30 second thing. So that's how long it took. And then after that, you wash your feet and you wash your hands and all that. So you're putting your head down on the floor. But I think everyone's got clean feet. And then you go upstairs right afterwards. That's what I'm telling you about this. They put on a hell of a feed. As long as you're not vegetarian, because it's all blessed meat. I didn't see much vegetarian option except for the fruit and the porridge thing. But there was plenty of that. But yeah, they're massive big thing of whatever it was, is like a casserole curry thing. Beautiful. So they insisted that I have 3 plates of it, and then they insisted that I take like $60 worth of dates home with me. Or maybe not 60, maybe $40 worth of dates. Like these are really good, high quality dates, and all this fruit. I don't know if they insist that every day. I haven't been able to get back there. Then I was going to get all this free dog meat, and I ended up getting about 18 times what I thought I was going to get. The car was absolutely chock-a-block. And I had like a few other things happen. It was just very beautiful. I had a bit of time with Moo, just myself. Got her out, took her for a walk. She's by herself. The pups are safe in the cage, the car and boot open, and just a loop of this forest thing. And she was happy and jumping up and wanted to go back at a certain time. So it was very beautiful. And then I just dished out a very direct and harsh truth bomb. But then I played it. I tried to make it a bit more like, yeah, it was uplifting. But it's still, you know, a bit like, you know, when you get in a lecture, when you're already in trouble, you know you've done something wrong. Now you've got to get the lecture. Now you're going to have to get the talking to. Well, even if that talking to goes for 30 seconds, it's still too long, isn't it? But normally a good talking to is probably, for an adult, 3 to 5 minutes. But then sometimes you get these 20-minute, half an hour talking tos. But they only keep happening because you keep saying something back, you know? Or because you really fucked up. So I gave a 15-minute talking to. And I thought about it going, this is like to say yes or no. So we get this kind of energy loaded on the week. But you don't really notice the heaviness because the agitation is already up here, you see. So, oh, fuck's sake, get out of the way, you redneck, fuck! Oh, you change lanes and oh, shit, fuck, I must be a bit agitated. What's going on with me? Wow. You know what I mean? That's as bad as it gets for me, so to be throwing shit out, oh, fuck's sake, I'm so sorry, and then, yeah, there's something wrong. And, yeah, it's alright because there was an eclipse that day. Pretty big one, so it's alright. It's okay. The next eclipse in a couple of weeks might be the last eclipse that this civilization sees. So look out for that one. You might see some pretty fireworks with that one too. Yeah, pretty interesting science, even if you just look at the science, not with the prophecy. So you see there's that and the sun. There's actually some really interesting, uplifting, exhilarating stuff going on. But there's this agitation and enough congruence, enough harmony, enough grace, I think, because of the praxis. And then going and doing this extra one. My mate wanted me to go away and spend time with him and stay there, and trying to work out how to do that, but it's not going to work because I'm going to rush and make all this stuff happen and get someone else to look after the dogs and all this stress, so I can rush up to somewhere 2 hours away and then consciously go, right, now I'm going to relax. Because I only got a certain amount of time before I have to rush back to go and do this practice. Because I have to be there for it, because they kind of put it on, because I was so enthusiastic about the extra one. And plus, this is the most fucking important thing. So anyway, I stayed in Brisbane, ended up just going like, fuck, everything is just such a task. Trying to do solar panels, so I spent basically 2 days just sorting out every tiny little thing, like, I'm serious, everything, every tiny little fucking thing, every tiny little fucking thing in life, every tiny little thing. That's why maybe the coffee as well was very good coffee, but that's probably the simplest thing. That's what I can do, you know. And obviously I've been dealing with this, I've been living with this shit for a long time, getting a good look at myself but not getting enough of a look at myself to be able to see that, oh well, you could just choose to see it this way, and bang, suddenly you've got all this energy and you're not burdened, and you know, like, even if you just get to the point of suddenly seeing it this way, like, don't see it the way that you see it. Don't have this judgment and opinion. Just don't have an opinion. Just don't see it at all. It is what it is. Oh, just sit with acceptance. And that's what people will feel from you. But I feel that there's a willingness from you to consider them and to engage with them and to learn about them. Even once it becomes apparent that they're a pretty fucked up human being just like everyone else. There's very few people on this planet that can restrain themselves and not share all their shit with you by offering an opinion or just sharing something. And I'm feeling bad here because the dog's, Elvis, is wondering why the hell I'm sitting out here. Because we need to go to bed, don't we, buddy? We need to sleep most of today and get up and go and do this training. But yeah, so that's the context that's that's relevant, right? Because this is what we got to do. Most people don't have any meditative thing going on in their mind. They wake up, I'm awake now, then what's the first thing that they do in their life? Do this, sit and meditate. Like, when I realise that I'm awake, I focus my third eye on money, and then there's a twitch. All right, I'm calibrated to basic. Then I get out of bed, then I go to the toilet and try and drink water, then try and do something, but I will acknowledge the dogs, and then when I go back to sleep, so I'm calibrated. Most people don't do anything like that. Different kind of brain freeze headache this week too, because we're being updated and upgraded by the sun. I rely on the brain freeze headache to stop me having this inflammation or vasodilation, overheating response up here in my brain since going to the Wim Hof retreat a year ago. And this last summer I really relied on it. Well, suddenly that's different this week. Okay, so there's context. You see, like, this is what we've got to deal with day by day by day. I'm in pain. I'm about to get up and walk. I'm in pain. I'm sitting here in pain. I know the act of standing up and act of standing up to walking position is going to hurt. And then walking is going to hurt. And I have to consciously walk the way that I want to walk for the proper biomechanics of making my body move. Because I'm moving very differently now. So I've given you all this context, rambling on all this shit. All this shit is like, if anyone's listening to this far, then you see that it's all just like that, isn't it? But I'm sharing it because every person has to deal with all of their stuff, or all of other people's stuff that ends up being their stuff that they've got to deal with, you see. And the grass was growing through the bitumen from the day the bitumen was laid. And there's all this stuff here that is our lives. We've got all this stuff to do in the morning to get ourselves together before we interact with our family live in the same house as us, and then go and interact with the world, and then interact at work with responsibilities and drive and all this kind of stuff. There's so much that needs to go on that basically we're just dealing with it, you know what I mean? It's not really enlivening. I've only been able to come through with this whole process because I've just got nothing left. I'm like, the feedback and the signs from the universe was very clear, and to the point where I couldn't move. I had no hope left. I was just completely, my body was in so much pain I could not move. And I was stuck downstairs, my back just seized. My phone was upstairs. I was stuck downstairs for 5 days by myself. Couldn't get upstairs, get my phone. That was about the time of sort of just recognising. That was the week before my birthday last year. Just going, this keeps happening. I keep getting locked up. And then in this case, like, I didn't have any disharmony of that. I just was lying there accepting it because the pain is, you know what I mean? So it's great to have something in life that's other than pain. There's something on the other end of the spectrum is enlivening. Oh wow, this is really great. Like, wow, my soul is expansive. It's been creative. I actually feel like life is good and beautiful. Wow. So here's the big thing. Stayed in Brisbane. Tried to be real settled and just chills. Nothing's getting in the way. This is a real big deal for me. And nothing's getting in the way. I'm really clear about priorities. And then ended up being late. Getting into the car park 34 minutes late. So then it still took me maybe another 5-10 minutes to be there ready to start training. And I didn't think I was going to be able to train. I thought I was just going to have to sit there and watch, but I was allowed to train, and it's just Jackie training, and it was so good. She's just so consistent. Like, if you do the slightest thing wrong that you know that you, like, she's already told you so many times, so you know, and she knows that you know, she'll still say it. I mean, just such a consistent, brilliant master teacher. And it was just her. So it was just her flavour, and I was really wondering how she would be just teaching by herself for a full class, for a full session. And she's so awesome. My God, she's brilliant. Anyway, I got this one. This is ice and water, and it's got a bit of magnesium salt in it. I hadn't had it for a long time, and it's caused a lot of pain and stuff. It's just deficiency of magnesium. Basically, every person on the planet is deficient in magnesium because we use so much of it. So I got this Electra magnesium salt from Mitsubishi. So I got gifted $500. And so I'm like, oh wow, I'm going to go get a treatment from Mitchi. So I said, I need 3 hours from him. And then she gave me this salt for $20. And so I've been having a pinch of it. And I had probably maybe 4 to 6 times more than the general thing is, even what Mitchie said to me, like, knowing that I'm pretty intense, high resource consumption kind of person. So yesterday I had, in the afternoon, I've had probably 4 to 6 times, and it was just to keep myself going. And then I filled up, so I had 2 jugs, and I filled up the other one just before I left, and I put heaps of salt in, and now looking back, it's probably about 18 times the amount that I should have had. And so then became late. Like, I was late, but I was late because I did something for myself that needed to be done for life, just deal with life and put the car back together, and the dogs weren't coming. But it took me 35 minutes to explain to the dogs that they weren't coming. And they ended up coming. And that worked out because I asked my mate who'd just gone to bed. I dragged him out of bed and asked him to come with me and walk my dogs while I went and did this training. And he was very agreeable, so I was very grateful. And I got there, but before that, just before that, just after that then, even though he's agreed and everything's all cool, I hadn't started rushing, but then I rushed, and I stressed and I rushed, and bang, 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 hurt myself 3 times in like 10 seconds. Fuck. Then hurt myself again a few seconds later. And then I was in that state, and I was stuck there. So by the time I got to the training, I was in one hell of a state. But even though I was all good, this would have really affected me any time prior to starting Nobbs Suzuki Praxis. And I used to be late all the time, or rushing all the time. And then lately, in the last few years, it's only been things that are important to me, or like I'm doing, this is my thing, and professional, and as a master, or that kind of thing. And then something will happen and you end up being late for it. But it's only the things that I care about. Or someone's coming to town and you really want to see them. Or you got gifted tickets to something and you really want to see it. And, like the things you don't really care about, you're there half an hour early and you're just moseying. But the things you really care about, then you're like, it's such a stress to get there on time. Just made it on time at Chemical Brothers. Because something came up, But it worked out. And everything's working out. So this worked out so perfectly last night, you see, because this is documenting Metamorphosis. There's some fucked up shit in the background that's not working for me. And then it's like, I'm too much of a proud Australian man, Things will be said to me, I used to go and sit and have a drink and really think about things that got said to me, but now I just don't really think about it. But the words do echo in my ears, in my mind, and I'm stuck thinking about things that people said. And the thing is that I can recognize that person doesn't have a clue, really. If they would say that kind of thing, then they really don't have a clue. But still, the words echo, and it's in the context of like, what are you doing in your life? How come you've got this shit in your life? How come you've got these circumstances, these dynamics? So we started to get a bit of success with the solar panels for Friday. And I was going to go away, and I was like, no, I'm not going to go away. There's just no way. I just can't do it. I'm stressed about this other stuff. So just sit with the stress. I can't do this, can't do this, can't do this. Every tiny little thing. Couldn't find 2 socks. And so that's where you eventually you got to either burn everything that you got or walk away from everything that you got. You can't even pick up a bag and go. Or maybe have a bag. Maybe get your coat. Other than that, you got to like walk away from everything, so you might as well set it on fire and make it look like an accident or something like that. But you see, that's the point. You get to that point where there's just no responsibility for it, or there's full responsibility for it. I'm not the kind of person that's going to be getting dementia, because I engage with everything in my mind. And there's a lot of plaque and stuff, stress there that wasn't being engaged with. And it's because of all the shit that's around here. So I've pushed really hard to just like looking at why the hell is all this stuff in my life? And we got this tiny success, a very tiny success. One solar panel, one 200-watt solar panel with a charge controller and some Anderson clips. And, well, we didn't need the charge controller. But my friend got a charge controller because he was doing some research about it, and he was doing his little thing, and it was great to see that he was doing this thing with it. So I give all this experience information, but it's kind of not really that relevant because he's doing his thing with it, working it out. And that was really good to see because that's actually what I used to do here, the man therapy thing. And then even that seemed to become incongruent. So to see this congruence coming back naturally was a really good thing. And on top of what I was already doing, like my car started on Monday, so it was good. The dogs weren't allowed in the front seat. I put his cage over and Elvis wasn't allowed in the front seat. He was terribly upset. Still trying to get on there, you know. Then he's knocking the car out of gear and all kinds of stuff. But I couldn't deal with it. Could deal with an anger, like a tantrum, like a 2-year-old angry elf with Anakin Skywalker focus and skill. When I can feel your anger, it gives you focus. Scaring the shit out of the dog you love so much from the 4 pups, and then going into this mosque and pray with people really calm, and then go and saying this shit to your lover afterwards. You know what, you're gonna keep having this kind of thing. You can't say, well, maybe we just shouldn't be doing this anymore because why are you doing this? You know, and then you go, all right, well, might just ease back now, but you're still, all that sitting there loads in. This practice is going to be really good. Oh yeah, it's Easter. Oh, that's right, Easter, yeah. And someone died as well. Good guy. Dropped dead. Aneurysm. So again, there's this thing that's pertinent, like, well, this is why I'm such a pain in the ass. This is why I'm too much for people. This is why I go into all the intricacies of life and the moments. And in this case, I go absolutely fuck all to give any interest to make my heart beat from one beat to the next. But somehow I managed to talk 52 minutes plus the 17 minutes before I accidentally pressed. I don't want to talk. I wanted to talk for like 4 minutes, have a cup of coffee, chill out for a minute, just take stock. And then I need to catch up on sleep. So I'm going to sleep the whole day and try and get sleep before it gets hot. And here I am talking about all this shit. Because this is the shit that makes your heart beat from one beat to the next. If you're a human being. And you got to fucking deal with it, whether you like it or not. I don't have to deal with all the stuff that anyone who's watching this has to deal with, because it's just, I've been incapable of dealing with it. I've locked, like, it's become positive negative with magnets, have become positive, and so money just does not come to me, like, you know, it just, and I've changed with money. There was a time when mine just would not. It would be there, it would get passed to me, like a millimetre from me, and evaporate. Suddenly, that $100 that I was giving you is now minus $370. Your way to me. Ah, okay. And so that's a burden, you know. It's only recently to let go of that burden and just have this thing, like what it is about. You just got to get through today. I've got this calendar entry that reminds me, 8 o'clock every morning. Remember, the big thing that was that allowed you to drop that burden off your shoulders just like 3 weeks ago. Just in case you forget, because you might, because life gets in the way, you know, centrifugal forces of life. Remember, the big thing you realized was you just got to get through today. Your needs will be met or you'll die. And you haven't died yet. This is my big epiphany. I haven't died yet. My needs have been met every single day. This is what, 4 weeks ago now. I realised all this burden and stress and worry, like, I am provided for. same as these insects, same as dogs, same as everything else. Your needs will be met or you'll die. And so I'm still alive, so that's the basic thing. That's what really matters. And I had completely lost myself, you see. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, consciously, physically. And my body, I mean, I can fix anyone else's body, I can fix my own body, but too much fucking pain. But what's the emotion? It's the dampness, it's the phlegm, it's the heat. And I was drugged and had some kind of sexual thing must have occurred when I was 21 in 2002. And then the next morning I was so sick. I've never been so sick in my whole life, ever, any other time. And I was told that I drank all this alcohol past the point that I can't remember, which would have killed me 3.5 times as the fit 21-year-old that I was, and I was super fit. So I've never been the same since then. So I've got a cyst, a fluid-filled cyst, just a little bit smaller than this fist, here in my liver, that is contained. It's a contained cyst of fluid that has no way of draining. So that's come from the damage of whatever it was, plus the alcohol. And you'd probably be fair to surmise that there's probably some kind of encapsulated emotion like resentment or anger, the emotions that are associated with the liver. Well, it's been 21 years now. And you know, like I talk about people have a look on their face. So I've got to think. Then they got a headache. So see that there? I've got a headache from that. It's up here. It goes around there. So there's always this tension, you see. So then when the sun gets in your eyes, watch where I squint. You see, there's more tension over here, right? So with that goes this whole gallbladder channel and liver, and get a dampness, right? And so I had this dampness in my body. So when I get tired, I need to go and sleep. Otherwise, I get a headache. That's how I was for most of my adult life. And I just realized this morning, actually, I'm not like that anymore. I get really sleep deprived, and because of the way I fast a lot, then I clear the shit out of my body. And so I have this contrast that I basically fasted yesterday, but I didn't drink enough water. And the only reason I fasted because I wanted to drink more water, but I didn't. I drank hardly any water compared to what I knew I did, because I woke up feeling really dehydrated. And coffee, and another coffee. And then all these other things I'm going to do today, then I didn't do any of them. I ended up just, fuck out. Why do I have this stuff? If I can't make this work, it's gone. I've already got this pile of rubbish here. And it's for clothes and everything like that, you know. Everything. And so I just churn through all this stuff. And then I sort of, I was sorting my own shit out, you know. So I was in good stead and good timing. And had gotten something the night before about feeling the center. So you have the dantian, and you put it out from the inside because you're building up something like the Mediterranean Sea of Chi, dantian, Sea of Chi. So it's like you've got the Mediterranean Sea in your abdomen, and that's something that can be compressed and then expressed out, you see. So that's the basis for everything, and it's the center. But this thing of center in the Suzuki Praxis was not like that when I refer back to this stuff, because it's based on the same kind of stuff. But no, it's not. He cut it through all. It's just center. So what I got is this point, like in center, about 2.5 inches below my navel. Then just awareness. So think of a pink elephant and purple polka dots. Now think of a yellow wheelbarrow with a black giraffe in it. Now think of your center. So think of your belly button, and now just bring your awareness down to the nerve point that's halfway between your belly button and your pubic bone, basically. And just observe it. Just go, now just see that and feel it. And now do something like stand up. So stand up and see, just feel it. Just simple awareness. Don't do anything, just awareness. Just be aware of, did you engage both sides of that nerve point? Or did you engage both sides of your belly button equally? Or did one engage before the other? And was, if that's a symmetry line, was like the right kind of doing all this stuff and then kind of overlapping the left? And then was the left having to wait for that muscle, the right muscle, to disengage, and then the left engaged in this other way? So was that making you stiff and sore, and you actually can't move equally on both sides? So I got that. I was about to go to bed, and quite tired, and just sitting with life, you know, feeling quite exhilarated about this fantastic report that Ben Davidson did about the sun, and these X-class solar flares and these 10 M-class solar flares, and then this one was like all the scientific analysis of it. It was just brilliant. So I actually felt quite energized and exhilarated, and then I stood up, and then my bus is too short for me, like, so the roof is the ceiling's too low, so it messes me up. I have to be down, so I'm not really demonstrating that, so I have to be like this to keep my back straight. So what happens is end up sticking my bum out in all kinds of weird ways, and you know, you don't really realize. I never used to be like that, but when you're working on stuff and you drive for 10 hours at 70 kilometers an hour, then your body starts getting a bit stiff and sore, and you start getting tired and whatnot. It takes its toll, and years later, then, you know, like, I can't believe it's been so much time and this bus has been here, broken down, reversed in here by a tow truck. 2nd of January 2017. I had this opportunity, and I gave it absolutely everything, but then I thought that I could save the world with that, and then save myself, and that was it. There hasn't been any other opportunity since then, and I've been incapable. So that's how I live, right? And then what I'm saying is, you get this other thing on top of heaviness, which is like, that was the one thing I had in life. I didn't have this disharmony with people anymore. They might have disharmony with me, but I don't have disharmony with them. And then I would say something in the audio, and it might be like this, where it's really long. Normally I get it done in like half an hour or so. This is like, see all this stuff around, I've moved, like, it's heavy. It's impossible to deal with. I'm doing this Nobbs Suzuki Praxis documentary thing, documenting Metamorphosis, because for the first time in my life, I met these people, and I was accepted as who I am. They're like, no, forget about all that other stuff that you try to be to fit in the world. Who are you? Who's Jimmy? What's this? Like, you're stomping like this. Stomp, 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 stomp. Everyone's down. See how fast that is? Each one of them is an I am. You see? Is an I am. That in itself, it's quite an arduous exercise. Like, it makes your body work, and it brings you right here. How many IMs can you get done? How many stomps per minute? How many IMs can you get? I just see dehydration. I'm just coming to the kitchen and make another cup of coffee. I don't think I can do that, because I need to go to sleep, so I'm done with coffee, and I need to hydrate myself. So this is what I'm dealing with, and here's my moo-moo. Moo-moo's come out, you see. She's come to run out properly. and this is my memory. And she's just so loving and affectionate. She's wanted to make sure that she was comfortable. And she had this terrible, stressful time. We had mother stealing her puppies. And I ended up having a tantrum, like throwing stuff around. I never did that when I was a kid. I've done it like 3 times as an adult. And it was about 12 years ago was the last time I did it. So you have that on Monday, bang, holy shit. I thought I was a lot more grown up than this. Okay, so that in itself is a bit of a heavy kind of thing. I think, fuck no one saw me, but I know. And that sits on you. So anyway, it all gets loaded into consciousness. I spent a lot of time sorting out my life, my inner world, all this stuff I can't deal with. Well, if there's something dysfunctional about it, then you just got to deal with it. Make it functional, because you just got to work it out, you know. You just can't continue from this moon anymore with this dysfunctional kind of thing, you know. Like, you just can't. There's going to be problems. I don't have problems anymore, but there's going to be problems for other people if I don't sort this out. My problems aren't necessarily going to get any worse because I've been living with that burden as though I've died and left this mess with someone else and haven't paid the money that needs to be paid and all this kind of stuff. Very complex situations. All created from the internal here. And what do you know? Most people don't understand, don't have a clue about why I was doing what I was doing and what I was actually doing and who I was, you know. So it's like completely wasted. But the value of the understanding and the hindsight and all that is priceless. It's invaluable. And I think it's worth, it's 1 hour and 7 minutes. It's okay because people go on with all of this stuff about how to be happy, how to be successful in the world, because that's what we want, isn't it? We want success. If we've got success, then naturally we'll have a happy relationship. We'll wake up in the morning and we'll not feel bad because we didn't really acknowledge the dogs before we had a shower and then started breakfast and had coffee. Didn't really connect with the dog. When the dog first realized you were awake, you know, that was the thing that really disturbed me a few weeks ago. And so, I know that every single person out there, even the happiest person, the most happy, embodied, completely integrated, successful, having achieved, yes, happy, enlightened person, they've still got something they've got to deal with. They've got to deal with it. And it's that frictiony thing, that still comes up. And when it comes up, you get to have a look at yourself, because that's what you are when you're enlightened. You go, you see that, and you can be grateful for it all. And you're not necessarily so disturbed by it, hopefully. I think that's what enlightenment is. So I was disturbed by it, so I'm not really enlightened, you know. And everything is loaded into consciousness really intensely for me. That's what I am. So I'm like, if you're going to do something really, if people, the average person, or the average Gemini, see, I'm like a Gemini, I'm like a Gemini times 4, I learnt last year. So, and that's like multiplied, Gemini multiplied by 4, compressed and focused with that Kung Fu praying mantis. Focus, and then, hey, you don't need to fight, let's just dance, you know. It's all about love anyway, isn't it? You know, so we don't want to fight, we don't need to fight. There's no winning or losing here, we can just turn this into a dance, you know. And no, time's passing. It's always a thing. If you don't have money, it's always going to be a thing. When I have the money and I pay for this, or I sort out this mess that I'm responsible for, then I won't have that stress. You know, how do you get out of that kind of situation? Because you're stuck, you see. So it's a long process and a hard one that doesn't really get anywhere in any way other than this Nobbs Suzuki Praxis. But also, see, I got access to John during the week and Jackie during the week. So the way that John and I connected, sort of gives this. But oh no, I didn't forget about it. He's a great human being. Jackie's a great human being, and I do have access to them during the week. And we can just talk as like human beings. We don't talk about the Praxis. We do that on Sundays. We don't talk about it during the week. We talk about all this other stuff. But he's my master. He's my mentor. And I haven't been sleeping very well lately, you know, like just get a few hours disturbed sleep. And I noticed if I see John during the week, I'm not feeling so great. Even though I started drinking coffee again. I've had too much coffee. I'm doing too much. So that's another thing, is fasting. I was drinking too much coffee. It messes me up. It's the damp heat. Anyway, so feeling enlivened by seeing John and Jackie. They're just great human beings, and they're geniuses and they're masters. It's such a blessing. And it is so good to have a mentor again. And I've become such a better student. So now when the student's ready, the master will appear. I've had 2 masters appear. So I'm really just, it's like, yeah. I'm still like a little bit too much, yeah, but I'm so much more in this composed manner. So I got something on Friday night. It's Sunday morning today, so we had Saturday last night with this bonus training. Just before going to bed, I got this thing about that awareness in the center, and then I started moving. I realized that I was not moving 180 degrees on each side, just with my hips, and then I managed to. I spent probably an hour and a half just moving in this space of my bust at the same height, engaging these muscles, because it's all very specific about the height of the bus, so you've got to stand in a particular way, and then vehicles are driving and all this kind of stuff. But come back. So if you're cooking dinner or you're washing dishes or whatever, then you're in this particular position. You don't realize it. You're brushing your teeth, getting ready, and you're rushing, you're going late. You don't realize you're holding this position, and I'm not even showing my back. My back is actually doing it, see. And I gained something. I really gained something. So much so that I didn't get a chance to even do what I wanted to do as that meditative thing, what I do pretty much every other day. Or what I was doing every other day, but I do admit I've lost the fire and fucking done a qigong. I meditate all the time, but yeah, just I don't know why. I get this practice up. I've got this good hour and a half practice, good solid, but I'm trying to get the 4 hours every day, every morning. Can't seem to get past an hour and a half, and then I don't know why. And suddenly I look back and 3.5 weeks have passed before I've even done anything. Or it's like, it's not until something happens. I look at the moon, I look at the sky. I'm sitting there thinking, 1:30 in the morning, I'm just having a moment, I'm playing guitar and I look at the sky. And suddenly I feel I move my arms and getting up and moving around, turning in circles. When you turn a circle, you have a spiral. Instantly, when you have a spiral, you've got infinite energy. Then you've got a dance going. There's no effort, no resistance. There's nothing making it happen. There's nothing stopping it from happening. It's just allowing it to be. And see, I put this. That would have been like this finish in a Tai Chi, but then it's allowed to be. So the end result is performance. That's what you want to get at the end, is performance. It's not like, where's the next one? So that's 30 people being destroyed. Now we go next. And then coming through, you've got movement like that. It's all so gentle. But you dismember them, kill them, neutralize them, move on. Next. Well, the Nobbs Suzuki Praxis isn't like that. You do all this complicated stuff in that same kind of thing, and it's as demanding as having to deal with 7 guys in the bar that you've been ignoring all night, and they were saying shit about you. You don't really know why, you're not really listening, but now they've got you cornered in the toilet. That much, there's this much going on, but they're all being real friendly like that, but they come around behind you and stuff like that. And there's one who's not saying anything, but he's got a particular demeanour, and you can't hear him, he's walking very quietly, but you can feel him, he's coming around back. So then you got to deal with this guy, he's the ringleader, this one, all facing you, and they're all being friendly without starting to get a bit aggressive. And that doesn't matter, because it's this one, he's the only one you got to take, and it's all like that. Back over here, leave your feet, bend your knees, oh, oh, bend your knees, oh, hands down, oh, right. This is what Jackie yelling at me last time. It's that demanding, you see, he's like, load it up. And so, it was great because I'm not late anymore. I used to be late to fucking everything all the time. The only reason I managed to keep a job so much is because I'm the only person that would stay back and get the work done. So I'd turn up whenever I turned up. But if I needed to be there for 14 and a half hours, then I'll be there for 14 and a half hours. And then I'll probably be late tomorrow morning. And so it's been this massive thing over a period of years, and this thing about since the fire and losing everything and being stuck with all this and all the stuff that's happened here, because it's extra urgent, extra desperate to be there on time, early, whenever you get the slightest opportunity. And so you're already desperate, and then if you turn up late, particularly when you're like a healer and you put your hands on people to heal them, which there wasn't much of that opportunity coming up, so it wasn't that much of a big deal, but still that's where that all faded away because you're burdened. And we all have to go through our own things that we've had to deal with in the last 10 years and last 4 years, you know. We've all had to deal with it all, as we do every day anyway. And I'm a healthcare person, a wellness person. And I was very well aware of the unhealthy lifestyle I was living. There's certain behaviours and habits that were there still, no matter what, against myself. And the mindsets and attitudes that it formed, and the lack of ability to see anything different. I could see how I'm stuck in this hopelessness. But it's like, I'm starting to see something now, but I was about to say something as in now, but it's past tense. Like, I could not even see how someone driving past with a BMW, how they could actually afford that. There's this money out there in the world. So someone was able to buy that $80,000 car, like they have $80,000, like there's money, like people are going out there in the world and they're interacting with each other all day, and they're giving each other money, like there's currency going around, because it doesn't seem like there's any currency in the world to me. There's no currency in my world, there's no money in my world. I don't see it at all. I don't see how I could possibly get myself out of this situation, because that's just like, you see, so that's what I was sort of stuck with. So it's a massive thing to let go of that idea yourself. And these kind of things come up because, you know, it's very profound when Jackie gives you all this information and knowledge and stuff, and then you try and take it on board, and then you're not saying anything back, but then you try and do something, and she's like, stop. You think you need to produce a product straight away, but you don't. You need to just let this instill in you. And later on, the product will come naturally, and it'll be your product. But if you think you've got to produce a product straight away and get it right, well, you've missed the point. You missed the lesson, and you're just doing this thing that anyone can do. Anyone can practice something to be good enough at it. You know, you're not doing that. You're doing something much more profound and paradoxical. And when it's a paradox, it allows you to contain, allows something to be contained. The paradox is what John says allows something to be contained. So this is the paradox, is within this realm. Then all the dynamics of it, you see. So I didn't explain that very well. I'm not going to bother because I'm going into this other thing. See, so all of this I'm getting across, it uses up a lot of magnesium, you see, a lot of stress and a lot of tension in the body. And then going in there late, putting everything into it. And I actually had something with a bit more oomph to give because I really got something on the Friday night. And I had been able to carry it through because it's just a simple awareness thing. Qigong has gotten to that kind of point, like I'm not really out there practicing. I should be, even now I should be. I can't believe I've got the energy to be saying all this stuff. Come here, my little girl. Come on, my little girl. You're my little girl. This puppy I was supposed to give someone 2 weeks ago. I just wanted to keep her a bit longer. There's something for me, just keep it a bit longer. That's all I got, you know. Very rarely I never get to see my kids or even talk to them. Puppies. So I got this magnesium, you see, and I had about 4 times as much in the afternoon, and it made me feel better because I'm in this pain in my hips and back and all that. And then, you know, this is like probably when I'm already rushing, but I'll say this is like 3 seconds before when I started rushing. So I've got this 2 litre water thing that's insulated, keeps it cold, you know. And I've filled it up, and there's already magnesium in it, come to think of it. And then I've gone and put in like 18, 20 times the dosage, like recommended, like what he's saying. And I was just like, oh yeah, that'll be fine, you know, because I'm with a high energy. And I intentionally had 2 litre insulated containers, one with no magnesium in it, and the other one just ice and water, and the other one with an absolutely ridiculously insane, stupid amount of magnesium salt. And so I get there, there's like got a bit of time, I was really focused, and I was just in a state, you know, I was in a state. And that was good, that was perfect. I'm driving there, I stopped rushing whilst I was driving there, you see, because I realised like how perfect this is, because I'm only ever late for something that I care about these days. So I've gone all the way from being late for everything all the time. And so people tell me 2 hours earlier. They tell me the time 2 hours earlier. Only on those times would I turn up 2 hours earlier and be sitting there waiting. But I wouldn't get angry at them, be upset, because this is the kind of, that's where you get feedback. Or when the kids go and make all these plans and they've got this whole thing going on and they think they need to keep something secret from you because you're going to get upset because they got these ideas made up. Well, you don't get angry at them. You just like, it's a bit sad, but you get this valuable gift of learning what your children think of you. And then you've got no idea how they come to those ideas, but at least you can do something about it now that you know, because if you didn't know, then you're a slave. You're a prisoner to it. Alright, so you want to get real as a human being. So I'm actually pissing right now. I pressed pause to go and take a piss, and then I have this thing, oh shit, oh my god. Like, suddenly I need to shit, and I don't know if I can make it to the toilet. Okay, so that happened this morning. Across the road in the bushes. I had to go pick grass like this. Luckily there's some now because I could not make it. It was a sudden urgent one, you see, and that was when giving the dogs a run and just giving them time so that they know they're acknowledged in this time and space. Because when I came back here after what had happened at training, I was like, what am I doing? So I had felt a lot better, and then I just cleared all this shit out. I just got rid of a lot of stuff. Plus I had to fix a few things, so doing this renovation, but just clearing all the shit. And it's all simply because I wanted to just take out the bin bag, go put it in the wheelie bin. And that just brought this whole massive thing, which has just been the thing. And this I do every few months, you know. It's all dependent on the moon. Once in a blue moon, seems to be something there with that. So I thought I'd just get real about that, because that's what we're doing. I'm not pretending. So I pressed pause because it's civilized to go and take a piss, but then I pressed play again and started recording while I was halfway through a piss. Okay? So there you go. That's what you get. That's what you get from me. If anyone's watching this from this point, that's what you get from me. That's what this is about. A real human being with real challenges, real faces, and bones of his ass, but never actually lost something that was the most important. I've always been one of the richest people I know, and just being able to acknowledge that and see that has been something that gives the richness. Well, I see all these other people around me, they've got everything, they're miserable and unhappy, and they got no idea where to even start looking as to why. So this shepherd's purse, good bush tucker. It does give you a build up of silica though, don't have too much of it. Right, so here's a big thing. Nothing's getting in the way. I'm sorting out all my stuff, so I'm in really good shape. A bit tired, it's stiff and sore, but no worries, I'm in a really good place. But then I just couldn't do it to the dogs, you know. And there's all these other factors, so they hadn't been getting out, getting the stimulation or that, and they love going there. So it took them 35 minutes of telling them that they can't come, they got to stay here, and just being there with them, so I'm making myself late, and then end up putting way too much magnesium salt in the water. Then see the clock a few seconds later, it's 7:15. I said I was going to be there by 7:15 at the latest. And I started rushing, hurt myself, bang, hurt myself, bang, hurt myself, bang, 3 times in less than 10 seconds, and then bang, hurt myself again. Or rushing, and this is after my friend said he's going to get out of bed and come and help me, because he's the only person that could take the dogs for a walk. Anyway, that didn't work, so he was all sort of, he was there to contain them a bit, because they wanted to be where I was. And I really had gained something because of just the awareness of center in instead of doing anything about it, focus on the inside, just the awareness. I got so excited about this, I forgot that I urgently need to, like, I was going to squeeze my ass cheeks together, because you know what it's like when you have way too much salt? Well, so anyway, I was intending to take both water things with me. I took them with me, and I think I was going to take them into the hall, but then it was just the natural thing to do is you pick up one and you take them. So I took one magnesium salt, and then we did 3 things. Like, I really got into training. I really had something, because I really got what Jackie said, and I felt it on that Friday, embodied it enough, and I had it. I hadn't got a chance to go and do all the practicing I wanted to be doing with it, but I had it, and ended up doing all this other shit, because I just need to fucking do this. Otherwise, don't even bother washing the dishes, just throw the whole kitchen away, you know. It's come to that point. And I was fine, I was really there for it. And then Jackie's saying something in between each piece, giving me this absolute gold, and Shane's there, it's just Shane and I. And Shane is just really fantastic training, fantastic, it's just so good. Anyway, I had 3 times, I went, grabbed and think, glug, 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 and I could basically get half a mouthful. And just not enough water, because the way that it comes out the spout. And get back in your position. Okay, next one. So on the 4th time, which I've only been training like 10-15 minutes or so, and giving it everything, so I'm like, but giving it all, you know, giving it all, because I had it to give, and it was really so good. And Jackie saw that. She saw it, because she was actually really focused. So she saw that I had developed something by practicing, so by working. And so it's like a 2-litre volume. On the 4th time, I raced over, I ran over, and I unscrewed the whole thing. So it was as big as my hand. I was like, glug, 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 glug. I must have drunk at least half of it. So I was like, oh, I got to refresh. And I ran back over, and they're still talking. And I felt like running back over and getting more, but I didn't do that. And then we started the next exercise, and I was starting getting this movement. Pretty simple movement, but then it's like a bit of vigorous stuff there. And so we got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes after I went, blah, blah, blah. I was suddenly feeling very sick. And I come to the point, Jackie's head sits about here, and she's like half a metre from me as I'm coming to the point of finishing. And there's a song coming, and I've been about 2 minutes of this. And as I get there, and Jackie's head is right there. The bathroom is behind her, and I'm going to sprint to the bathroom. I feel like I'm going to throw up. And she goes, just sit down. And her head is like... I thought I was going to spew right on her head. But I need to go to the bathroom, and she goes, just lie down. So I lay down right at the front of the stage, and I lay down, and I was all right. I managed to get through it, and I just lay up the back of the venue, and couldn't even look at her. And then suddenly I had this terrible headache that I had all week, and I just hadn't felt like I don't know if I had the headache or not, but I had that headache all week with all that other shit. But I only became aware of it. But Jackie was just so perfect and let me just be there. I was quiet, not make a sound, and I'm just listening. And I didn't really say many words, but it was sort of basically it got understood that I was participating in Ramadan. So I hadn't had anything to eat or drink for the whole daylight hours. And then I'm running late and rushed and stressed. It's all going, I was like, this is the most important thing to me. So I'm in this state. I'm scoffing down food, like dates, on my way to training. And then I was drunk with this magnesium water, where I haven't drunk any water all day. And suddenly, and that's not exactly what it was, but it was something pretty similar to that. So that was good enough. That was perfect. That's something that they could understand. The Ramadan, you don't eat or drink, and that's ridiculous. Why do you do that to yourself? As I was about discipline, cultivating discipline, same as this. So anyway, I'd spend half of the training lying there with light sensors gripping my head, not even able to deal with it. And then the training finished, and I lay there for another 10 minutes. I'm like, I'm scared to get up in case I feel sick again. But I got up and I felt alright, and I got a good walk. Suddenly I started feeling remarkably better as the magnesium moved through the body. So it's surprising it took so long. Like it's taken about a good 6 hours or so, 7 hours. But my God, it's come through the other end, and suddenly you need to shit. And you gotta be real careful because it's liquid and it wants to explode out. So it's picking up the pelvic floor, right? And I just like come back and I was feeling a bit better. I'm like, what's all this shit here? I'm just throwing all this shit out. It's gone. Completely new kitchen in there. Should have happened 5 years ago. You know, why do we sit with all of this in us, in our lives? Then it becomes this thing that you pay someone for rubbish removal, you pay top dollar for rubbish removal, for all the stuff that you've spent a fortune on, but you just can't deal with it. And so it goes, and you don't care what happens, it's gone. And so then you don't think about it, and you don't think about why you got dementia for the last 15 years of your life either. And what happens then is that the person that you're married to for 64 years, and you had dementia for the last 15 years, he looked after you. Then when he dies, then you realise that he died every hour and go through that grief again. That's what you get if you don't want to engage in your life that you created for yourself with your mind. So you see how perfect it was? One, I make myself late and really late. A very long time since that's happened. It's only for the shit that I care about. For myself after Jackie's really given me this really good principle talking to about, if you don't have this priority, even just this one priority, you don't actually have any priorities because nothing else fits together in your life. You've got no power, you've got no focus, no direction, you've got nothing. And she's so right. So you see how perfect it is. But in any other context, then there'd be this whole thing about it. I've got to have a talking to now. I've got to have this whole thing. How do you feel? Are you willing to acknowledge it? Like, she's just so beyond it. And she let me train. I wasn't expecting to try and just go, oh, shit. And it's felt fine because I wasn't really feeling that flash. But I gave it everything. It's so good. And I'm pretty sure she saw that. And that I actually had developed something a bit more, and she pushed me there, like, so, but that, I mean, what I developed is, like, realised that I fucking lost myself a good 2.5 years ago, and I didn't realise that I could find myself, like, where the hell have I been? In my own body, where have I been? And I've just purged a lot of shit in my life. I had to take a shit across the road, get in the grass, and stop the dogs from eating those streets, and now I'm using this discipline to hold it, to go, I'm basically squeeze my ass cheeks together while I'm standing here and get this across. And it's not something I ever would have talked about before. But yeah, this is what it is as a human being. We've all had these experiences where suddenly you've done a liquid shit that you did not know was coming and you had no control of it. Suddenly it's like, oh, and then there's a terrible smell, and that indicates that you're unwell in here, and you're in public, and you're in the middle of the city, and all this stuff going on, and you dress really well, and you're in someone's car, and you gotta sort this out. Well, as you remember those kind of things, how do you feel about it? Because I remember these kind of things, and now I feel so much more peace with it. Like I could even do that as a performance. Now that is a massive transformation right there. So, I need to go and dehydrate myself a bit right now, and then I seriously need to rehydrate and later on and I'm just going to try and rest the whole day and go back for the scheduled practice, the Sunday practice. In full knowledge, like, they're doing this for free, they're just so focused, they're so committed to this amazing thing they're doing for free, going out of their way. Like, I'm very much a different person because of what happened last night. I got two massive things like that I did to myself that just fucked me. And they're the things, like, if this had happened, let's say 8 months ago in some other context with some other people other than John and Jackie, then I wouldn't be doing very well right now. It would be worse than death. It would be worse than getting shot at. And I did make a choice actually on Melbourne Cup Day last year to go late because I just was not willing to go and deal with all these drunk people, go and massage all these drunk people who don't care about them, because I had to deal with some other heavy stuff and it affected me. So I made a decision, and this was the first opportunity, a big gig like this would come up for age. It wasn't that big, but it was for someone else. But it ended up being quite late. I thought, no, I'll end up being 20 minutes late, fuck it. It ended up being like an hour and a half late because all this other stuff happens as soon as you start rushing as well, you see. That was a decision that I made, full God-given free will, because I needed to sort myself out after having to deal with a suicide attempt. Before I go and deal, and I got no money, all this stress and all this kind of stuff, and I got to go and deal with these people that are just wasting all their money on gambling, and they're just so totally unconscious generally, and psychotic and psychopathic and full of disease. pathology. I got no idea why they even bother with anything. But that's because I can heal myself, so I don't know why. I don't know, I couldn't see myself getting really fat. I haven't seen my dick in the last 20 years. Like, how do men live like that? And how do women shag men like that? It's just like something not right here. Anyway, but I got my problems. And I'm letting go of a lot of them. And, you really load into consciousness the program and the whole thing. And in this case, it's like 20 or 50 times more than that loaded into consciousness thing. I'm going to go and do this now, and you get it back. So it was an absolute doozy. But the thing is, if I was around the corner here with my Sifu, then he wouldn't have been so cool about it. No one else I know would have been so cool about it as Jackie. She's a master. I feel so grateful that she just let me lie down in the back of the training and just lie there and listen and be a part of it. She said go the other round. I was like, I want to be part of the training still. I wouldn't have been comfortable with any other human being to do that other than John, I think. And I would have been overwhelmed with anxiety and embarrassment and shame and disturbance. The saying about that Melbourne Cup thing is that it still disturbed me. I made full decision. I was about to go and do it, and I'm like, no, hang on, I'm not doing this. I'm not carrying all of this stress of someone close to me tried to commit suicide. I didn't actually know they tried to commit suicide. I didn't know what that was all about, you see. So it was a pretty full-on thing. And I still felt quite disturbed and quite bad about it for weeks and weeks and weeks till, like 9 weeks later, when I said it to the other person that I looked unprofessional to, is, this is the reason why I was late. That's why I just ended up not being on time and having to deal with that shit. But with this one, it's like there's been a full quantum leap transformation. And how do you measure that as a white Australian man? Well, when you sit and have a think about stuff, you notice that you're not doing what you've normally done for your whole life, where you're kind of sitting there looping it in your brain and mind, where you're having a drink, or you're having a smoke, or having a coffee, having fucking whatever, having a scratch, whatever it is you're doing. You're thinking about this stuff, but you're putting yourself in a particular way. Yeah, you should have done better, and you will do better next time, and you should have done better, and you're just a fucking useless cunt. And you fucking did it again. You fucking did it again. You finally got a fucking opportunity. You fucked it. This is what you do. You see, so I'm not doing that. Now I just invoked something that I'm not doing it. You see what I mean? So it's such a thing. And because I don't want to be to my dogs, when I'm having this chill time, because let's face it, there's nothing going on in life. So the more I try, the worse my life is. So just focus and be with the dogs. And then it's like I don't want to leave them behind. That they're part of this. And it's all my creation that makes them have to miss out, because there's such a thing going on with them. And I just didn't want to have to be that. But ended up having to be after training anyway, to just get that control. And then I had him do it last night. I went and took him for a full exercise. And I was going to take him at night time, you see. Got to get him back in the morning before everyone else starts walking their dogs on leads. This is just a crazy thing I do. And noticing the way of disciplining dogs that fully need to be followed up and disciplined, and all the other pack, and dealing with all this stuff, then I'm actually not that arsehole that I was scared of being. You see? So something's changed. Now that's fucking huge. That is fucking huge. And it's worth taking an hour and 44 minutes and 44 seconds to say that. And whatever I said before. Because everything else is related. See this? It says Elvis was locked outside with the other boys while I had one of my bitches inside that I was putting another male over. I just wanted a variation. So I was giving him opportunity. Elvis was out here with the other boys, and this is what he did to the bus. So that's what we've got to deal with. That's what life is, you know. That's there. We've got to deal with that. And regardless of how nice I might pretend to myself that I am, I've got enough of that in me to be pretty fucking disturbed at the little tantrum I threw 6 days ago. So because of all of this, whether anyone listens to this or not is irrelevant, because I'm one of the richest people in the world and I'm fucking feeling a lot better about myself today, last night, for being real and authentic and sticking with that, vulnerable. This is fucked. Yeah, I'm doing it, yeah. No anxiety, yeah, it's fucked. Here I am. Although then you can't do it, bang, and then, oh, fuck, I was like, oh man, that was, but look at it, look how beautiful, this is how I comprehensively create. I'm feeling fucking good about myself. I know that I'll sort this shit out before I die. Alright, thank you for sticking with me. Alright.